Hello YouTube. This is a very crucial time in the world where the whole world is in the capture of a pandemic. Yes, the coronavirus disease 19 or COVID-19. Today, in this short lecture, we are going to learn few things about the disease. First, we will see how and why it is a dangerous, where it just came from and how it has evolved, the causative virus structure and functions, also its life cycle. How we will know if the disease happens, I mean the symptoms, a short look about the mechanism of action of the virus and its pathogenesis, why it is a contagious disease and how it spreads, lastly, any cure for this disease, if it is possible or not, and why. So let's start the video with this intro. So the story of this pandemic starts with one day in December 2019. A doctor called his colleagues from hospital in Wuhan, China, and told them in hurry about something which he found in a recent admitted patient. He also told that he suspects this something a big risk, which can be fatal for coming time. As soon as this new potential risk of this doctor came public, Wuhan police called the doctor and warned him not to spread fake messages. He returned to work and later contracted that virus from an infected patient and died on 7 February 2020 at the age of 33. The doctor was Li Wenliang, and the thing which he was insisting on was SARS-CoV-2, the virus that has caused COVID-19. The warning of similar thing later was also sent by a US Navy officer, Brett Crozier, for which the Navy Secretary also lost his position. A similar incident also happened some 17 years ago when Carlo Orvani, an Italian doctor, warned about the potential virus which World Health Organization or WHO took seriously. This information saved millions of lives that time from severe acute respiratory syndrome SARS that spreaded in 2002. So now, if you see how lethal the disease has become to mankind, we can see its effect by looking at the number of deaths each country is facing by each day. America, the most complete country in each sector of development, has the most number of deaths and infected persons by this disease now in the world. The disease has claimed over 54,000 deaths in only USA, followed by over 26,000 deaths in Italy and over 20,000 deaths in France, Spain, and UK. So a total of 0.2 million deaths and over 3 million infected persons worldwide. Look at the numbers. It's so huge for one to imagine, alas. So here is my country, India. So as of 26th of April, there are more than 26,500 infected persons identified in India, out of which 825 has already died, with a fatality rate of 3.1%. Among many states, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Delhi, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, and Andhra Pradesh are severely affected, according to ICMR, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare data. So let's see how this virus just came. So COVID-19 is caused by an RNA virus called SARS-CoV-2, which is a distant relative of SARS-CoV that caused an epidemic during 2002 to 2004. This SARS virus was also had an origin from Guangdong, China. This caused a death of nearly 774 and 8,096 infections in 29 countries and territories in the world. It has a fatality rate of 9.6%. Then, during 2012, another member of this family of viruses called MORS-CoV caused 858 deaths out of 2,496 infections in 27 countries and territories in the world. The fatality rate was a huge 34%. Then came this COVID 19, which is caused by SARS-CoV-2 and has claimed over 0.2 million deaths and 3 million infections worldwide. The fatality rate is 6.9% and has 210 countries in its capture, almost the globe. Can there be more in future remains a question. Let's see the structure of this virus. As you know, a virus is a non-living body until it gets a host organism to grow on. This virus is a positive single-stranded RNA virus having an outer lipid bilayer and membrane proteins projecting outwards are the spike proteins. These spike proteins get attached to the receptors found on the host cell and makes an entry. Inner to this there is an envelope layer and at the core there is a 30 kilobase length single-stranded RNA encapsulated by a capsid protein. Let's just see its genome. Being a parasite, it has few things of its own and it utilizes many things of the host organism, which is human here. The 30 kilobase genome stores many structural proteins for the construction of new viruses and many enzymes for replication and immune invasion. Let's see how it produces more viruses. So every virus has some similar way of life cycle steps like first attachment and entry into the host. Then the virus releases its genome to integrate into the host genome. Then the virus hijacks the host machinery to produce new viral proteins and replicate its genome multiple times. Then the virus compiles its newly produced genomes and proteins and gets out of the host cell. Here in this scenario, the spike protein of SARS-CoV-2 binds to the host cellular receptor angiotensin converting enzyme 2, which is called ACE2, aided by TMPRSS2 to facilitate the entry of the virus. This ACE2 is the ticket of the virus for the entry into our cell. ACE2 is present in many organs of human body like heart, lungs, kidney, liver, and brain. Hence, the complications with these organs are found most in COVID-19. After the fusion, the viral and the plasma membranes, the virus RNA undergoes replication and transcription. The proteins are synthesized. Viral proteins and new RNA genome are then subsequently assembled in the endoplasmic reticulum and the Golgi apparatus, followed by the budding into the lumen of the Ergic. New variants are released through the vesicles, completing the life cycle. Now I think you have got something about this virus nature. Now let's see what are the symptoms generally doctors see when you are captured by this virus. The main symptoms include a fever, fatigue, dry cough, myalgia or the muscle pain, and dyspnea or the breathing difficulty. The severe cases can also show sputum production, headache, hemoptysis, and diarrhea. Don't worry. All these symptoms are not absolute prediction that you are a corona patient until you have a positive test report. These are very common viral symptoms in general. So how the virus affects a patient? I mean its pathogenesis. The scientific reports of Western blotting, immunohistochemistry, RT-PCR, and genome analysis have revealed the presence of virus or the viral particles in different tissues like lung tissues, heart tissues, kidney tissues, liver tissues, and brain tissues. Due to the abundance of ACE2 receptors in these tissues, like I said earlier, there are prevalency and complications with these organs. If we look at the number of deaths in males and in females, we will find that there are more number of deaths in males rather than females. According to data, there are nearly 62% deaths in male and 38% deaths in female so far. The main question is why there is a gender bias. The predictions suggest that SE2 is present in chromosome X, which is only 1 in case of male and 2 in females. This X chromosome codes many immunity regulating molecules. One prediction tells about the general lifestyle, as male in general work as laborers in polluted mines, industries, and construction sites, having more prone to lung and cardiac issues before the viral attack. This increases their susceptibility for the virus and induces complications. The habit of alcohol, cigarettes, also are bad habits that men do have in at least my country, India, which increases the chance of kidney and liver issues. So altogether, these patients justify somewhat a hypothesis that why COVID-19 is more in male. So let's see how this virus spreads. The reality is anything that is close contact to the infected person can potentially cause disease to you. The virus can spread from the air that contains the viral particles. These viral particles can come to you instant air by coughing or sneezing by an infected person or patient nearer to you. If you are shaking a hand to somebody who has virus particles in his hand, it can also cause you harm. An object having viruses on it can also be dangerous, very rarely through fecal materials too. So stay alert and safe. This is why there are social distancing and stay at home campaigns. As this is a deadliest virus we can transmit through air, there are more precautions to be taken by our doctors and medical staffs who usually remain at the closest contact with these patients. So healthcare workers caring for infected individuals should utilize contact and airborne precautions like personal protective equipment, N95 or FFP3 masks, eye protections, gowns, and gloves to prevent transmission of the pathogens. So, what you can do as a regular practice to avoid the probability of getting infected. Here are few tips that WHO says. Wash your hands, put a tissue when you cough or sneeze, put a mask on nose and mouth when you are going outside. Actually, the virus sticks to the material of your mask before getting in contact with the nasal tissues to some extent. Hence, we are using masks. And if you develop symptoms, just contact a doctor or hospital. What are the developments in making a vaccine or a drug against COVID-19? This is not that much easy. We generally make a drug that targets viral genome or protein, but as the viruses are champions in mutation, by changing its genome so that the proteins also. This makes it very tough to target very early, but we will also find a way for this too soon. Keep patience. Few general antiviral drugs are in use today having partial effectiveness like hydroxychloroquine that blocks the endosomal pathway of viral transport inside a cell, the HIV drugs like ritonavir that are protease inhibitors. There are many virus strains that are used as vaccines trial too. Many pharmaceutical and biotechnology companies are also there in helping to develop drugs and vaccines. We thank them for their restless efforts, and I personally request you to be safe, alert, and help others.